Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. Most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. This live show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, only features transportation professionals, only features people who are active in the day-to-day to give you the information that you need and that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. I believe in a massive value exchange out there, and there's a lot of people who have been in this industry for a long time who can help you navigate through any market shift, because we're about keeping people in business and keeping people's American dreams alive. It's as you can see, if you're watching the live stream here, I probably fly this American flag behind me every day. A, because we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, because I'm living my American dream and I love seeing people live theirs as well and stay in business. All right. I got a solo show today, unless one of my buddies decides to join last minute here. But other than that, though, you guys, before we get into anything, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. You guys, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers at some point in time. And the best part about it, you get paid to move these trailers. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You get paid to move these trailers. And then frankly, if you're a broker like I am and you're out there building it up, you guys can create a drop trailer pool with this. All right. You can literally go on to VHub, see where their access capacity is, and create a drop trailer pool. You can sell that capacity. I mean, one of the biggest objections that you're faced as a broker is we're asset only, right? Well, now you can utilize these assets that VHub provides to create these drop trailer pools to get in the door at some of these large enterprise shippers. But with what they're moving right now, you guys, they got West Valley City, Utah, going up to Calgary, Alberta. It's a dry van. You get $1,550 to move this trailer. This is where you can create a drop trailer pool as well. There's 200 dry vans. That's right, 200 dry vans in Stoughton, Wisconsin, going to Milton, Ontario, and you get 600 Canadian to move each of them, not total, each of them. And then Milton, Ontario, going over to Moncton, New Brunswick, and you get 400 Canadian to move that. So hit them up, you guys, vhubapp.com. My friends Xavier Campos and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Just hit them up. Do me a favor. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Zach Williams, let's fucking go, Freight Vam. Zach's with SPI Logistics, you guys. If you guys want to become a freight agent, take control of your financial future, run your own business, hit up Zach. Hit up SPI Logistics. That's who my agency's through. Proudly. SPI is a phenomenal partner of mine, and they have been so supportive to everything that I'm building, and I am forever grateful for that. So if you are in that position where, you know what, you've built up a book of business and you want to take this on and go out there, you guys, hit up SPI. They're a top-down class act organization. And that, like, I would say this under any circumstances, everybody who I've met there and been in contact with are top-notch individuals. April Maroney is back in the house. What's up, April? Good fucking morning, coach. She says, get that business. Dennis Bear Everett in the house. Good morning, everybody. Dennis has a reefer. You guys, he's based out of South Dakota. If you guys have freight for him, hit him up. All right. Vitali, did they upgrade the video player on LinkedIn? No, I've been messing with my camera settings. Again, I'm self-taught in all this shit, you guys. I have some fancy equipment that I spend a lot of time on YouTube trying to figure out how I can maximize it. And I'm trying to work on the lighting angle a little bit here to maximize that and play with some of that stuff, man. So I'm figuring it out. You could have just said I look more handsome today, though, V. That's fine. She said the chat's still iffy, though. Tracy O. St. Clair, good morning. Thanks for joining. Angel Garvin, good morning. Diego Fonseca, good morning. Kat Aikens, what's up? She says, good morning, my peeps. Much love and respect. DDS Solutions here. Trucking out the mud, the Freight Coach. Let's go. I love it. Thanks for joining. He's over on YouTube, you guys. We stream live on YouTube and Twitter as well. So if you guys are on those other platforms, though, do your boy a solid. Subscribe to the show over there. Rank the shows. It just helps reach more and more people, you guys, because this is what this network is, the Freight Coach Network. It's not just mine, it's our network. It's to improve this industry as a whole, and that's what we're doing out here. Kat Aiken says, "Hello, YouTube is my best friend." I love it. YouTube you. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Lori O'Connell. No, dude, Lori, I appreciate it. Thank you for that. And, anytime. I'm just here to help in any way I can. And I'm glad you found value in our conversation earlier today. Dennis says, more rogue home. That's funny. Jason Morrow says, good morning. Let's fucking go. Amen to that. You guys, we're at day 227 of the Freight Coach morning show here, which is insane to think about. I mean, I went to public school, so my math is always off on things, but it's a long time. We're about hitting the 1 year straight mark. And we're going to continue to go live every single day and talk about and continue to bring up core fundamental issues that are out there, with them not having facilities for our drivers and access to food and, a lot of that shit that some people only post about during driver appreciation week on how they care when they actually don't 51 weeks out of the year. But we're going to continue to talk about every single day. Diesel is still at $4.44 a gallon. It actually gets updated on Tuesdays. I said yesterday it got updated on Mondays, but I made a mistake. So it'll be updated later on today. So I'll have that new one tomorrow. I got a DM earlier today from somebody who listens to the show, and she wanted to talk about RFPs and if brokers should start staying away from them with the volatility. And my answer is always never run away from an RFP. When you're looking at things from a long-term cycle, again, it's very short-term transactional thinking to be like, I probably shouldn't bid on this RFP because what if? A lot of things could happen in those instances. What if it works out for a very long time? What if you find a customer who is more concerned about the longevity of an RFP as opposed to the short term of it, which they exist out there a lot, you guys. And I would never shy away from bidding on an RFP, whether it's a quarterly, biannual, or an annual RFP. I would get in there and bid on every single one of them and try and get that consistent business, because that's where you're going to find the long-standing relationships with carriers that I talk about. Is a lot of the carriers, I guarantee if you polled 100 carriers right now, they would all say that they would love consistent business right now. Where do you find that? You find that in the RFP. So I would never shy away from them. And then also, Tony Darnell's in the house, Mr. Drayage himself. Get some, Tony. My topic I wanted to also discuss here pre-article breakdown is what not to do in sales. Fortunately, even though I'm a broker, fortunately, I have a lot of friends who are shippers. It's been amazing to cultivate some friendships with these individuals here over these last couple of years. And I get a lot of inside advice, you guys. A lot of these positions that I bring are from my own experience, what I have experienced in the industry, what I'm currently experiencing in building up my brokerage, and also information that some of my friends send me of like, hey, give this to your audience because we don't want to see this. That's the thing is a lot of these shippers, a lot of our target market, they want to help. They want you to succeed. And I think that just because somebody says no today, it doesn't mean it's going to be a no tomorrow, but it's also a telltale sign of don't continue to prospect them, right? Like don't continue to hit them with the same sales pitch about, oh, just give me one lane to quote or just give me that. What value can you add to their organization? Some of the most long-standing partnerships that I've created as a broker have taken months to cultivate. They all started the exact same way, you guys. They all started with the exact same objection that we're asset only. We don't work with brokers. We're not busy right now. We're good with our current network. We're customer routed, vendor routed. They've all started that way. But the beauty of it all is if you read in their responses, they're telling you how or how not to prospect them. Because if somebody tells you we're good right now, don't hit them with hey, here's my customer packet, fill it out so when you are ready for me. That is so off-putting, you guys. Like, again, I always like to challenge people this. When's the last time you bought from a door-to-door salesman, somebody you've never met before, and given them $1 million? Chances are a big whopping fucking zero. That's what it is when we're out there prospecting people, is they don't know us from the last 45 other providers that reached out to them. So again, this is why I'm all about a niche. I'm all about being a subject matter expert, because You can add value to somebody's organization and expect nothing in return. And that's what it should be. If your true expectations are, how can I add value and help people? The money should never be on your mind, because the reality is, you guys, the money's going to come. All right. The money will come in droves. It's just not going to happen today. And you have to look at it is stop pushing. All right. Stop pushing this shit on people, and stop being so basic and general about this stuff. If you list off that you excel in 7 different transit types, again, I always bring it down to this: a jack of all trades is a master of none. I will live by that, and I will die on that hill. Now, that's not to say that if you get in the door with a dry van shipper and then they have a flatbed load that you say no to it or anything like that, but prospect off of your core competencies. All right. I promise you, if you commit to that for a few months, you'll see a big difference out there. And just stop sounding pushy in this stuff. All right. Stop sending the same unoriginal messages time and time again. Personalize that shit. People buy from people. All right. Andre Stewart in the house. He says, good morning, Freight fam. Louis Montano, what's up? Good morning. Great day to do big things. Amen to that. Patrick Provance says, good fucking morning, Freight fam. Cameron Lisk, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Tony Darnell says, there is no drayage, but we all know that there is drayage out there. Anyways, you guys, we are going to jump into some articles here and break them down. And as always, you guys, any article that I break down will be uploaded over on the YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay, which is on iTunes and Spotify. And we are going to jump right into an article from fleetowner.com, how to analyze unpredictable freight hauling trends. The only thing predictable with the freight market is its unpredictability. Rest assured, you guys, I've been in this industry for a long time. That is the only thing that is predictable in freight, is that it's unpredictable. Before the pandemic, there was some ability to foresee highs and lows in freight volume based on seasonality and historical trends, adjust available capacity, and anticipate rates to be paid. I feel like I disagree with them because it says that's no longer the case. I definitely think that is still the case. I think it is very much, you can read freight markets based off of historical trends. It's remove these last 2 years of data from those spikes, and you'll see that there's a very consistent thing being laid out in front of you. Several factors complicate the pricing scenario for carriers. There's been the need to operate more maintenance-intensive older equipment while new truck and trailer production slowly returns to normal, the ongoing driver shortage, and still historically high prices for fuel. Like never before, analyzing freight trends and predicting rates needs to be proactive. The best place to start is the freight bill, said my friend Dean Croak. He's with DAT. Virtually every line is a data point that can be used to track and predict pricing. And when you have a lot of transaction data across tens of thousands of lanes contributed daily from different sources, you can more accurately track and benchmark your rates against the broader market. The most effective rate benchmarks are rooted in transaction data, actual prices paid to carriers, and not bids or indexes. And additionally, granularity is important. So look at the depth of the data set. Is it overly weighted by one equipment category, region, or freight type? Is there a history of rates spanning a number of freight and economic cycles? Do you have the flexibility to produce benchmark rates averaged over different periods of time? Rates averaged over the short term can indicate which direction prices are moving, so you can negotiate with brokers more effectively. Long-term benchmarks can help you forecast rates and give shippers well-reasoned, indexed, competitive pricing. And we talk about this on here a lot. Like, I personally, DAT is not a sponsor of mine. They don't pay me or anything like that, but I use their shit a lot. And I have found in my personal experience, they have one of the most accurate data points that are out there for what I'm trying to do. I love what they have. And then what he's talking about there, and again, it's that short and long-term freight cycle. Again, I look at a 90-day lane history, and it tells a very predictable story for how the next 90 days are going to perform. Because if you subtract out, and then like when I do these lane breakdowns, and again, I get to them on some days, other days like today, I'm busy and I want to get to as much information as possible, but we break them down and we can pull out the anomalies of the holiday spikes and stuff like that. So just for simple math, because I'm a simple public school educated kid, If everything's running at anywhere from like say 298 to 304 a mile over the last 90 days, but there's a little sector in there where it spikes up to 320 a mile, and then you can kind of see beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is inside of the that's a holiday. Again, you can remove that anomaly from it because there is a lot more consistency in these lanes than is reported by some. And I personally use this a lot. This is how I price out all of my current freight and everything else. And then, again, talking about just the power of the data as a carrier, again, the markets don't fluctuate as much as some of these brokers try and push it upon yourselves, as all of my driver friends are very much aware of. Because again, I talk to them as well, you guys. But I think that utilizing this data can help you lock in more long-term pricing, because the real brokers that are out there, and they do exist, I want my friend Dennis Bear Everett on my freight at all times. I want that guy on my freight at all times. I am going to lock him in for long-term pricing on that stuff, because I don't want to play the back and forth of the spot market at all. There's too much volatility that's out there. There's way too much fraud that can happen, and it's only getting worse. Broker Carrier has a solution for that. But anyways, I think that for the most part, utilizing a load board to develop your carrier base, because again, this is a very common question. How do I find carriers? Utilizing a load board to develop your carrier base is what I do to this day. But again, I'm finding the carriers that want to work with me long term, and I'm building up my capacity base off of that. It goes on to talking about data, type of rate forecasting that are out there, predictive analytics, and but he says that rate analytics can be difficult to interpret. And that was from Chris Wilson, a data scientist at McLeod. Often the best way to use analytics in a graphic that speaks to our user on an intuitive level. And when the analytic is injected by a system into a point of decision in the workflow for a quoting rate, that way it is most easily consumed if the math is already done, and users don't have to whip out a calculator or start plugging numbers into spreadsheets. And he also pointed out that rate data can be used to compare shipment pricing in specific markets. And when carriers understand where the market sweet spot is, and they have a better chance of offering rates that shippers will accept, enabling growth. And then they can also see where their profit margins are underperform a market pair average. And again, like, that's the thing, is just because a load pays 80 cents more a mile going into a different market doesn't mean it's more profitable than the load that pays less going into another market, because it depends on what freight are you finding out of there. Because again, a load could pay $500 bazillion dollars, and it goes to a place where you got to deadhead 1,500 miles out of that. Again, it's looking at that before you're accepting freight. Look at the return market. Is there going to be freight coming back out of there and stuff? It's planning this stuff out. I really enjoyed this article a lot, as I do almost all of the stuff that Fleet Owner puts out there. But that article is how to analyze unpredictable freight hauling trends. All right. I was going to break down another article, but I came across this one about an hour before the show started, and I decided I had to fucking talk about it. This article is from FreightWaves, and it says, for some owner operators, it looks like the end of the road. More than a third of FreightWaves research survey says they'll leave the industry if the market doesn't rebound. So this is a big driving force, you guys, behind why I put out the content that I put out. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. I will never fucking sit up here and say that I do. But what I cannot tolerate or stay silent on is information that even remotely would push somebody to sell their business or go out of business in any way, shape, or form. And then really breaking down the information that's inside of the article, because headlines can be catchy. Some people are going to run about that. And unfortunately, some people are going to make hasty decisions based off of a headline that they would read. It happens. It is what it is. But coming from a family of truck drivers, dad drove for a very long time, uncles, all of my dad's friends were drivers, everything. I feel like articles like this dance on the graves of truck drivers of past. And this pushes people towards making a decision, because I read through this article. There was nothing in here that said if drivers do this, they can stay in business. And now one could argue, well, that's not my job. I'm only here to report certain things. But I think that if you're going to be a industry leader of information, and your objective at times is not to support people, I just don't fuck with that. All right. I don't fuck with that at all. And I got too big of a mouth to keep my mouth shut about this shit. I'm not going to, be a good little boy and keep my mouth shut. I'm going to call out bullshit when I see bullshit. And that's what this article was to me. It was complete and utter bullshit. Because there's nothing in here of substance to keep people in business, because it says that it's tough enough for owner operators, which it is. I'm not going to say that it's not tough. And that a significant chunk are considering leaving the industry altogether. At least that's what, according to a recent FreightWaves research survey, said. And I'm going to get to that, because even though I did go to public school, you guys, I can fucking do math. When asked to select statements that applied to them, 35.2% identified owner operators checked, if the market does not rebound materially by the end of 2023, I will leave the industry. Meanwhile, 21%, they were having trouble finding loads to haul, suggesting woes weren't primarily volume related, at least not yet. Fewer than 8% said they would consider signing on with a large carrier. It's no wonder that owner operators are having a tough time. Last year, we saw a brutal convergence of sky-high fuel, equipment, and insurance costs, all while spot market rates dashed downward. The median owner operator in this survey did see revenue grow from 21 to 22 by 7%, from 224 to 240,000, but expenses far outpaced that success. They paid 22.9% more to operate in 2022. As could be expected, that trend is exacerbated, when looking just at respondents who said they were ready to hang it up. Interestingly enough, that group saw stronger revenue, but expenses spun out of control. Somewhat more positively, the more common answers was, I've seen profit margins decrease, but my business is still sound, which gathered 47.3%. And based off of all their data points, that was the overwhelming majority who said that their data was out there. When asked to indicate on a sliding scale from 0 to 100 how they would rate the current state of their business, the average number was 47s, which leans negative, but it is neutral. It was also their largest data set point out there. And then they talked about this, and here's the real kicker, you guys. They surveyed 120 carriers in total. 120. So for those of you who are asking, well, how many owner operators are in the industry? According to OIDA, anywhere from 350 to 400,000 trucks that are on the road are owner operators. Okay. So again, I went to public school. So if we're talking 35% of 120, that's roughly 50 drivers. Again, I went to public school. But if we're looking at 120 out of we'll even on the low end go 350,000 trucks on the road. That's less than 0.1% that we've talked to. And this is what we're formulating this information of dire straits off of. And again, I'm not saying that it's easy out there for anybody. I'm not saying that the market hasn't shifted. I'm not saying that at all. But to put an article out there that says what it does is so misleading to so many individuals who rely on this. And this is my problem with most media in fucking general right now, is their narrative isn't to do anything other than to strike fear into people. I'm convinced of that. I can look and pull up any news source right now, and fucking 90% of the articles that are going to be out there are going to be geared towards fear in some capacity. How does that help keep people in business? How does that help the drivers that are out here? And this is the shit that gets me, because it's not, it's the fact that that's fucking families that have literally everything on the line because their mom and dad invested in trucking. They invested in this. They are going out, that everything is on the line. And as an industry leader, in air quotes, there's not going to be anything of substance behind this to be like, if you do this, this is how we could put a path to profitability out there to stay in business. I fucking hate this stuff. I hate this stuff. And again, people make very real decisions. All right. There are very real things that go on in this world. And I'm never going to sit here and say that they do, but I will always stand up for the owner operator. I will always stand up for the small business, for the people who are self-funding and bootstrapping all of this, because I'm fucking doing that. I'm bootstrapping fucking everything that I'm doing. My old man bootstrapped everything for 40 fucking years as a truck driver. All right. And if he could make it during that time, if other drivers can make it, every single one of us can make it. All right. We talk about this frequently. We talked about it in the previous article about really honing things in. Look at the freight that we are hauling. This is why, again, if you are an owner operator listening to this right now, follow my friend Adam Wingfield, Innovative Logistics. He literally gives you guys everything you need to do to stay in business in any freight market that's out there. He is a 20+ year industry veteran who has seen all of this stuff happen time and time again. He is a phenomenal resource to keep you in business no matter what. And that is what this show and any content that you see my name associated with is geared towards, is keeping people in business and keeping people profitable in any freight market. I don't want to see anybody leave this industry or lose out on their business. Now, will that happen? Yeah, there will. People are going to quit. That's not a part of it. But my point is, if you're going to put information out there, I personally feel it is your obligation to report on the entirety of the situation, not just a certain sliver. And I get it. I can even counter argue myself with all of this, but personally, morally, all of that shit, I just can't fucking stand for it. I can't stand for it at all. And I'm not going to. And I'm going to keep doing me, you guys. I'm going to keep doing me day in and day out. We're going to keep talking to multiple professionals from every side of this industry who are going to keep people in business, because this show, people who watch this show, we're going to be the reason why people succeed. We're going to be the reason why this industry moves forward in the right direction. And one thing, I would fucking hate to compete against me. I'd hate to compete against me. And I hate to compete against people that are in this audience right now, because we are the backbone of this industry. There are so many people who are just out here trying to work to provide for their family, and they don't need to see misleading headlines and other information that is out there that could possibly make them not want to stay in business. All right. We got to, as an industry, as a country, as fucking everything, we got to come together. We don't have to agree on everything. You can fucking hate everything that I am as a person. I don't give a shit about that, but we need to come together to collectively improve this industry as a whole. If I was somebody who was thinking about coming into this industry and I saw some of these headlines, why would I want to come in and drive? Well, fuck, if this is out here, I mean, if this is what people are saying about it, why would I want to come in and be a truck driver? We have to improve everything about this. All right. From the fucking bottom up, marketing, recruiting, everything to get people excited about freight and to keep people in this industry and to keep people profitable, at least putting the information out there to keep them profitable. That's what I'm committed to. That's what I'm going to continue to do day in and day out, is to improve this industry. All right. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm going to continue to do. Love me or hate me. That's what I'm going to continue to show up tomorrow on. Because I'm going to go live every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, because it's in my fucking blood at this point. It's in my DNA. And there are a lot of people out there who listen to this show for the benefit of their business. And I will do everything in my power to help each and every one of you stay in business and ride this wave with me, because that's what we're going to do, you guys. That's it for today. You guys know what to do from here. We'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you